guys, Juan Sloan here, damfire.com. Another quick video. This one's going to be on sizing. So a lot of men have a lot of trouble with sizing, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a lot easier for you. So I think the main reason that a lot of men have trouble with sizing their clothing is because they don't know their measurements or anything. So really, you only need a few measurements unless you're buying used clothing. But if you're buying new clothing, there's really only, I'd say, I guess really only two important ones. So that would be your chest and your actual natural waist. So I'm going to show you first how to measure your chest. They're not difficult measurements. Anybody can do them on their own. So you're going to want one of these, by the way. You're going to want a flexible measuring tape. So for your chest, you're going to want to lay it as flat as possible on the inch side and go around the widest point of your chest. And you want it somewhat snug, but not tight. So you can kind of see how it's not like this would be tight. So you want it kind of like this. And easy. As you can see, my chest is 40 inches about. Next, and excuse the shorts, but I'm not going to wear a pair of trousers to make a video. To do your natural waist, same deal, as flat as possible, inch side. At the narrowest part of your waist. You can see I'm about 33 inches. So I would take maybe like 3 or 4 measurements of each of those to make sure you do it correctly. So when you're buying pants, your waist isn't this. This is not what you measure. It's your natural waist. And generally speaking, a lot of pants, a lot of brands, they use vanity sizing. So even though my natural waist measures a 33, I find that typically I'll have to go to a 32, and for some brands even a 31 to find trousers that fit me. More important is you're going to want to look at the sizing guides as you're buying clothing online. So that's one big advantage that you have if you're buying clothing online versus buying them in the store. I mean, I guess you can spend 30-40 minutes trying on a bunch of different pairs of the same garment if you want to, but I'll put it this way. So when these retailers sell clothing online, they're not really looking for you to return them. So usually their sizing guides are pretty spot on. So as an example, let's say I needed a new shirt, in fact, I'll put an overlay up, So let's say I'm going to look for something I would actually wear. So let's say something like, I don't know, maybe something like this, even though I'm not a fan of short sleeves. So knowing that my chest measurement is 40 inches, I would look at the size chart right here. And, I would look, what do you know, 38 to 40 inches in this brand. And you have to be careful because you may assume that just because you are a medium in one brand that you are a medium in all brands. That is not the case. It is so important that you actually look at these size charts because, for example, my Kent Wing cardigan, I'm actually a large in Kent Wing because they run fairly small. So pants is a little more difficult because, like I said, vanity sizing, it's not going to quite be the measurement you take. I would round down to the nearest even number typically, generally speaking. In fact, when purchasing trousers online, since it can be a little more finicky than purchasing shirts, I would recommend, if you have the means, to buy one or not one, to buy two, or maybe even if you need to, three of the same, the same trouser in different sizes, and just return the ones that don't fit. And another thing with sizing in terms of pants, a lot of people go for straight when, okay, it really depends on your body build. So someone like me, I'm on the slimmer side, so typically I will wear slim pants. I'd say if you would consider yourself overweight, or if you were actually clinically overweight, you might want to go for athletic or straight. Skinny is kind of completely out of style now, unless you are literally, anorexic skinny, like incredibly skinny. Like I'm right now, I think I'm 165, 6'2.5". But yeah, 169, 6'2.5", and even I go for slim instead of skinny. But if you're buying used clothes, there's another measurement that can make your life a lot easier. In fact, it can help you even if you are buying new clothes, because some online retailers that are really good about their sizing, like I think Ascot, Ladberry, Bonobos, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's Bonobos, but that is your pit to pit measurement. So how that works is you lay the garment flat and you measure that measurement. And another one that's important, I find it's the most important for trousers, is the leg opening measurement. So it's the same thing where you you lay it flat, then you measure the leg opening, and that's basically, it helps you find if you already have a pair of jeans that are tapered well for your body, that aren't, that are great for your body. You can more easily, if the reseller or manufacturer shows the measurements, you can more easily find something that works for you. So another thing, big one, is belts. So if you're buying nicer belts and not just something from, like Old Navy or something, you're gonna see that sizing is a little different. So a lot of the retailers will say to take your pant size and add 2 inches, and a lot of times that works. Some will also say add 2 to 4 inches. I would never go to 4 inches over my actual pant size. So what you actually want to do is take a belt you already own and start from the folded leather side where the buckle is, and then measure that to the hole you use. And that number in inches is your belt size in most brands. But even then, always check the garment sizing on items before you purchase them. Before I end this, I'm trying to think anything else I can mention. I guess shoes. If you don't know your actual shoe size, I would go to a shoe store and have somebody use a Brannock device. There's also some devices you can get off of Amazon. They're like $14 that you could buy. But I don't know about that, like spending $14 to have something that you only use once. I guess you could have your friends get their shoe size too. I don't know. But I find that using the whole tracing your foot paper thing, that doesn't really work. So I would either have your shoe size verified by a Brannock device, or get one of those devices, not do that whole tracing crap. I find that just doesn't work. What else was I going to say? Oh, a lot of shoes, unfortunately, tend to either run small or run large. So I usually are on the side of sizing it down if I'm between on something. I prefer to buy shoes from sites, instead of like Nike or Adidas, I prefer to use a site like Mr. Porter or a stockist site, because usually they will say if they run large or true to size. I also like to look on Google or Reddit or social media or any forums to see what other people think in terms of whether it runs true to size or large. Yeah, really, that's a short video. A lot of guys have trouble with sizing. Sizing is basically one of the most important things to how well clothes will look on you and how well you will look wearing clothes. I'm not saying ideally, okay, I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, but ideally clothing should not be skin tight on you. It should drape, it should flow down your body, it shouldn't pull. And this mostly covers garments that aren't suiting garments. So in terms of suit sizing, that you might want to actually get measured by a tailor or a professional, in my opinion. And excuse me, another thing I forgot to mention with jeans, inseam. So your inseam is basically, you want to make sure you get your inseam right, or else when you wear your trousers, they're going to be all stacked and ugly and look loose at the bottom, and it's not a good look. So to get that measurement, and excuse the shorts again, basically it is from your crotch area all the way down to, excuse me, right there, your ankle. So like where your crotch, meets down there. Anyway, doing more of the impromptu video styles instead of using, slides and notes. Hopefully you guys enjoy this and need any help with your style, etc. Damnfire.com. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. One salon.